right now. Daniel Cameron is speaking, the Republican from Kentucky, the Attorney General. And I'll show you some of the drawings I have done. Turn this around. So Eric Trump just spoke. He was very, very emotional, which is not normal. Well, we haven't seen the Trump children be that emotional over time. This is a drawing of new citizens being sworn in, and sorry, that's Trump, and that's I forget who that is, but he's swearing the citizens in as U.S. citizens, and I see this as a political stunt, and very, very important and sacred ceremony, and feel that it is wrong thing to do, and why he's doing it. This is his daughter Tiffany Trump, who spoke pretty calmly. She was not all that passionate. She's a pretty good speaker, but sort of not emotional at all. This is a woman who spoke. She's Cissy Graham Lynch. She's the granddaughter of Billy Graham, and she spoke earlier about faith. And she says here, the Biden-Harris leadership would leave no room for people of faith. And how does she know that? I mean, why? That's ridiculous. But both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are people of faith. This is another political stunt that I feel Trump did. He pardoned a very good man, John Ponder, who was a hold on a minute, let me close this. Better service, perhaps. John Ponder is a man that was in prison for armed robbery, I believe, and many, many years ago. In his time in prison, he chose to help other prisoners rehabilitate themselves. Oh, here's Mike Pompeo.
Looking out over the old city. I have a big job. As Susan's husband and Nick's dad. Susan and Nick are more safe.
I'm going to draw him now.
More secure. Because President Trump has put his America First vision into action. It may not have made him popular in every foreign capital, but it's worked. President Trump understands. What my great fellow cancer President Eisenhower said.
Why is it not working?
For all that we cherish and justly desire for ourselves, but for our children. The securing of peace is the first requisite. Indeed, the primary constitutional function of the national government is ensuring that your family and mine are safe and enjoy the freedom to live, to work, to learn, and to worship as they choose. Delivering on this duty to keep us safe and our freedoms intact, this president has led bold initiatives in nearly every corner of the world. In China, he's pulled back the curtain on the predatory aggression of the Chinese Communist Party. The president has held China accountable for covering up the China virus and allowing it to spread death and economic destruction in America and around the world. And he will not rest until justice is done. He has ensured that the Chinese Communist Party spies posing as diplomats in America are jailed or sent back to China. And he has ended the ridiculously unfair trade arrangement with China that punched a hole in our economy. Those jobs are coming back home. In North Korea, the president lowered the temperature and against all odds got the North Korean leadership to the table. No nuclear tests, no long-range missile tests, and Americans held captive in North Korea came home to their families and said the precious remains of scores of heroes who fought in Korea. Today, because of President Trump made it was stronger, Ukraine has defensive weapon systems, and America left a harmful treaty so our nation can now build missiles to deter Russian aggression. And in the Middle East, when Iran threatened, the president approved a strike that killed the Iranian terrorist Qasem Soleimani. This is the man most responsible for the murder and maiming of hundreds of American soldiers and thousands of Christians across the Middle East. And you'll recall, too, that when the president took
If
office,
you're just joining me, I'm Liza Donnelly. I'm a cartoonist and writer for The New Yorker and other places, and I'm live drawing the Republican National Convention right now. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is speaking, and he's speaking from, actually it's not live, it's taped. He's speaking from Jerusalem. I assume it's not live. It's very late in Israel right now, so I don't think it's live. But we don't know. Anyway, unprecedented that he's speaking
just 2 weeks ago. The president brokered a
during a political convention
this is a deal that our grandchildren
at a political convention while he's acting Secretary of State. That's just never been done before.
People desperate to flee to freedom. The way each of us can best ensure our freedoms is by electing leaders who don't just talk, but who deliver. An American hostage, imprisoned in Turkey for 2 years, Pastor Andrew Brunson, said upon his release that he survived his ordeal with these words of Scripture: be faithful, endure, and finish well. If we stay the course, we will. May God richly bless you, and may God bless our great nation, the United States of America.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo destroying another norm by being a sitting Secretary of State, speaking at a political convention from a foreign country. And now we expect, there you see Vice President Pence and his wife, the Second Lady, Karen Pence, walking through the colonnade and then into the Rose Garden. We're expecting any minute President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump will make that same walk. And the President will escort her to the podium where the First Lady will give her address. In the audience, roughly 75 people.
So, you can hear Jake Tapper talking from CNN. They're showing footage of the Rose Garden. A lot of people are sitting around.
We do not know much about the First Lady's address.
And
There's the President.
President's arriving to listen to.
We thought originally he was going to escort her. Walking into the Rose Garden, which has recently been redesigned.
This is Liza Donnelly, cartoonist and writer for The New Yorker, The New York Times, and other magazines, and I'm live drawing the Republican National Convention. These are some of the drawings I've been doing. This was last night. This is tonight.
Citizen Melania Trump's speech was somewhat controversial, given. Here's a video about the First Lady.
Now they're showing some video about the First Lady. So I think I will send this out on Twitter, and you can see how I do it.
Let's join together in this meeting to help children dream big, think big, and do all they can to be best in everything they do. This is her showcasing what she brings to the position of First Lady.
She is smart, independent, and I think people underestimate her.
Oops.
The First Lady was amazing. She was gracious, empathetic, and showed true compassion.
First Lady Melania Trump stepping out onto the world stage.
Let's see if I can see what some of you are saying.
She has the advantage of speaking several languages, and she can be a diplomat for our country.
Thank you. What app do I use, Bob? Hi, Bob. I use something called Paper. It's by WeTransfer. Hi, everybody. Hi, Wes. Hi, Hush. Hi, Brett. Hi, Ryland. Ryland says all fear-mongering. Yep, it is. Hi, Brett. Hi, Peter. Hi, Mark from LA. Everybody. Thank you, Bob. Bob says he wished he had my talent. Yeah, so I'm waiting on Melania Trump to give her speech. Nobody seems to know what she's going to say. The press doesn't know. In 2017, she gave no, 16, she gave a speech that seemed to be lifted from um, uh, Michelle Obama's speech. Here she comes. She's walking down a long hallway. She's wearing a black dress and has a black suit. No, it's not black. It's sort of maroon, I think, suit. So let's see. The suit looks like they give her a long. It's got. That's sort of what she looked like walking down the hallway. Outdoors hallway. A lot of people in the audience. They don't look like they're 6 feet apart. Oh, it's a brown suit.
It seems like just yesterday
Color was not
that we were
clear.
at our first convention, where my husband accepted the Republican nomination and then became our 43rd President of the United States. Yet the energy and enthusiasm for who should lead this nation, it is real today as it was 4 years ago. I know I speak for my husband and the entire family.
I do know, since I've been drawing this convention, so many of the women have long hair that is like this. I might not have noticed that if I weren't drawing it.
We know it was you who elected him to be Commander-in-Chief. And we know it is you who will carry us through again. We were humbled by the incredible support then, and we are still grateful today. I want to acknowledge the fact that
It's not really curly.
Our lives have changed drastically. The invisible enemy, COVID-19, swept across our beautiful country and impacted all of us. My deepest sympathy goes out to everyone who has lost a loved one, and my prayers are with those who are ill or suffering. I know many people are anxious and some feel helpless.
It's the first time we've heard anybody in the Trump administration, or at least the Trump family, talk about having empathy for people who are suffering from the virus. Trump has never said that.
Donald will not rest until he has done all he can to take care of everyone impacted by this terrible pandemic. I want to extend my gratitude to all of the healthcare professionals, frontline workers and teachers who stepped up in these difficult times. Despite the risk to yourselves and your own families, you put our country first, and my husband and I are grateful. I have been moved by the way Americans have come together in such an unfamiliar and often frightening situation. It is in times like this that we will look back and tell our grandchildren that through kindness and compassion, strength and determination, we were able to restore the promise of our future. Businesses stepped up and volunteers stepped in. People were eager to share ideas, resources, and support of all kinds with neighbors and strangers alike. It has been inspiring to see what the people of our great nation will do for one another, especially when we are at our most fragile. Speaking of strength and determination, we recently celebrated
Actually, leave room for something, having her say something.
Of the passage of the 19th Amendment. Yesterday, on the North Lawn of the White House, we unveiled an exhibit dedicated to women's suffrage. The exhibit called on children from across the country to send art honoring the meaning of this important time in women's history. When I was judging the entries, I reflected on the impact of women's voices in our nation's story, and how proud I would be to cast my vote again for Donald this November. We must make sure that women are heard and that the American dream continues to thrive.
That's a quote.
Growing up as a young child in Slovenia, which was under communist rule at the time, I always heard about an amazing place called America, a land that stood for freedom and opportunity. As I grew older, it became my goal to move to the United States and follow my dream of working in the fashion industry. My parents worked very hard to ensure our family could not only live and prosper in America, but also contribute to a nation that allows for people to arrive with a dream and make it reality. I want to take the moment to thank my mother and father for all they have done for our family. It is because of you that I'm standing here today.
I assume they're there. I don't know. His cheeks are a little too much.
I arrived in the United States when I was 26 years old. Living and working in the land of opportunity was a dream come true, but I wanted more. I wanted to be a citizen. After 10 years of paperwork and patience, I studied for the test in 2006 and became...
Apparently her speech was written by her and one of her people, that it was not known what she was going to say, even though West Wing didn't know what she was going to say. I admire that, actually.
I was able to achieve my own American dream. As an immigrant and a very independent woman, I understand what a privilege it is to live here and to enjoy the freedoms and opportunities that we have. As First Lady, I have been fortunate to see the American dream come true over and over again. I have met many inspiring women, children, parents, and families who have overcome life-changing issues that include addiction, homelessness, family members who are ill or have passed away, abuse of all kinds, and many other challenges that would make most people give up. The past 3.5 years have been unforgettable. There are no words to describe how honored, humbled, and fortunate I am to serve our nation as your First Lady. After many of the experiences I've had, I don't know if I can fully explain how many people I take home with me in my heart each day. From brave soldiers who give up so much so that we can be free, to children of all circumstances who I have met around the world. Thank you for inspiring me. It is my greatest honor to serve you. When I speak to members of the military, despite sacrificing time with their families, experience the fear of war or suffering loss, they have no regrets about serving our country.
Oops.
The same goes for their families and the families of first responders who often...
If you're just joining me, it's Liza Donnelly. I'm a cartoonist and a writer, and I'm live drawing the Republican National Convention, second night now. And the First Lady Melania Trump is now speaking.
The pain meets with pride. I hear in their voices something I think about often. So thank you to all who serve our country in the military and as first responders. And thank you to the families who wait for them. You are our heroes in your own right. I have also been moved by the many children and families I've spent time with at hospitals, schools, and other locations around the world. Children who are dealing with pain or illness that would break even the strongest adult. Parents who are grateful to wake up every day and see that their child is still alive. These families are a testament to what faith and medicine, strength and science can do. On my first international trip as First Lady, my husband and I visited places of great significance to the three major religions, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. One special memory from that trip is of a young boy I had privilege of visiting while at Bambino Gesù Hospital in Rome, Italy. While there, I read the little boy a story and learned that he and his family had been waiting for a heart for a very long time, and he had a grim prognosis. His situation brought my staff and me to tears, and we spoke of a little else.
Let's see what you guys are saying.
For the next part of our trip. Upon landing just a few hours later, we learned that a heart had been donated and would be
Brett,
going
let's see, we'll go back a little bit.
I think about him often, along with so
Thank you,
many amazing
Pam
and
Griffith.
strong
Hi, Griffin.
young
Hi.
Christians across
Pam says
our
I'm very
country.
talented. I appreciate that. Thank you.
More profound and sadly unavoidable examples of our country's
Brett
strength
says there's almost a
and
military
character
feel to her
are
dress.
here in the
Yeah,
communities
true. You want
that
me to
have
show you
been
what she
impacted
looks
by
like? I don't know if you're
natural
watching.
disasters.
You get to see my cat too.
Hurricanes, tornadoes, and flooding may show the ugly side of
There
our
she is.
nature, but in their aftermath, they can show us a beautiful side of humanity.
Yeah.
My husband and I have visited many places that have
Robert.
been
Hi,
affected
Robert.
by natural disaster.
Robert
And
says
we are
this is
thinking
cool. Neat to
of
see
the
the artistic
strength
side of
of the
things. Thank
people
you.
who have lost everything,
Trent,
and the
thanks.
kindness
It's awesome.
of neighbors and
Seriously, this is the
communities.
best way to watch this. Oops, I'm not going to
The
repeat what you
common
said.
thread in all of these challenging
Bravo,
situations
Alejandro.
is
Thank
the
you. Very good. Thank you,
unwavering
William.
resolve
Thanks, guys.
to
Good
help
to see
one
you all
another.
here.
I recognize the stories I
I'm going to listen to her
just
speech. It's pretty
told
good.
about people who survive extraordinary
It's the best
circumstances.
one yet in 2 days,
But
I think.
Donald and I are also
She's
inspired
it's well
by
written.
millions
She's
of Americans
touching
who
on
wake
a
up
lot of
each day
things
with a simple
and doing it in a
courageous
meaningful way.
goal of providing for their families and keeping them safe. You are the backbone of this country. You are the people who continue to make the United States of America what it is, and who have the incredible responsibility
That
of
one.
preparing
This is her
our
walking.
future generations to leave everything even better than they found it. Just as you are fighting for your families, my husband, our family, and the people in this administration are here fighting for you. No matter the amount of negative or false media headlines or attacks from the other side, Donald Trump has not and will not lose focus on you. He loves this country, and he knows how to get things done. As you have learned over the past 5 years, he's not a traditional politician. He doesn't just speak words. He demands action, and he gets results. The future of our country has always been very important to him, and it is something that I have always admired. In fact, it is to help ensure a better future for our next generation that I launched Be Best, my initiative to help children achieve their fullest potential. Be Best
If you just joined us, I'm Liza Donnelly, New Yorker cartoonist and writer, and I'm live drawing the RNC, listening to Melania Trump right now. This is a drawing of her as she walked to the podium down a long hallway. I think the producers wanted to watch her walk.
That are doing extraordinary things in our country and around the world.
And as Brett mentioned, her outfit looks a bit militaristic.
Others across the country and globe will become inspired to do
her speech is good. I
for our next generation.
haven't listened to all of it,
Helping
but
children is not a political goal. It is our moral imperative. When I think back to a defining moment of Be Best, my mind goes to a trip I took to Africa On that vast and beautiful continent, I was able to visit the countries of Ghana.
As a cartoonist, I could make a caricature of her, but I'm choosing not to. This is not what I do with these. I'm drawing what I see.
Ghana, on the coast of West Africa, was the first stop on my trip, and I experienced firsthand its warm people and their traditions. While there, I visited the Cape Coast Castle and learned more about the beginning of a cruel and often deadly journey in the era of the slave trade. I was horrified when I listened to the guides tell me so many inhumane stories, and I gained new perspectives. This time in our history, we must never forget, so that we can assure that it never happens again. Like all of you, I have reflected on the racial unrest in our country.
Wow.
It is a harsh reality that we are not proud of parts of our history. I encourage people to focus on our future while still learning from our past. We must remember that today we are all one community comprised of many races, religions, and ethnicities. Our diverse and storied history is what makes our country strong, and yet we still have so much to learn from one another. With that in mind, I like to call on the citizens of this country to take a moment, pause, and look at things from all perspectives. I urge people to come together in a civil manner so we can work and live up to our standard American ideals. I also ask people to stop the violence and looting being done in the name of justice, and never make assumptions based on the color of a person's skin. Instead of tearing things down, let's reflect on our mistakes, be proud of our evolution, and look
Let's see what else.
to our
Anybody else speaking up?
Every
Trent
day,
says,
let us
seriously, this is the best way to
remember
watch.
that we are one nation
Oh, you said that
under
already.
God,
And
and we
this
need to
S-hole.
cherish one another.
SS show.
My husband's administration has worked
Robert
to
asks,
try
as a
and
cartoonist,
effect
what
change
program do you
when it
use
comes to issues around
for these
race
cartoons?
and
The program
religion
is
in
called
this country.
Paper, and it's
He's the
it's
first
uh,
president
made
to
by
address a
WeTransfer. You probably heard of
session
WeTransfer.
of the United Nations General Assembly to call
So
upon
these are,
countries
I'll just
across the
scroll through the
world
other drawings
to
I've
end
done.
religious persecution and honor the right of every person to worship as they choose. He has made substantial investments in our historically black colleges and universities. This president also continues to fight for school
This is a bit of a
choice,
caricature, I admit
giving
it.
parents more options
Couldn't
to
help
help
myself.
their children flourish.
Tiffany Trump.
My husband knows how to make a real change. From the day that I met him, he has only wanted to make this country the best it can be. For many years, I watched him grow concerned and frustrated,
That's a mistake.
and I'm so proud to see the many
This
things
was
he
last
has
night.
done in
Donald
such a
Trump
short
Jr.
time.
spoke.
America is in his heart. So while at times we only see the worst of people and politics on the evening news, let's remember how we come together in the most difficult times. And while
This is
the
Kimberly
rage on about issues of
Guilfoyle.
race,
I don't know how to say her
let's
last name.
focus on the strides
Spoke last
we
night.
made
Really
work together
kind of
for a better tomorrow
wild
for
speech. And she's
Our
Donald Trump Jr.'s
administration has
girlfriend,
also devoted
which I
historic
didn't know.
resources and produced life-saving
These are the
results
two
by raising awareness around opioid addiction and drug abuse, especially for children.
citizens from St. Louis who, during the Black Lives Matter protests, came out of their house and started threatening the protesters with guns.
Drug crisis. This disease is one that affects everybody. It pays no attention to race, age, or socioeconomic status. Addiction has touched every part of our society in some way. And now, more than ever, we have programs and medicine to combat it. We just need to talk about it openly. And you, the media, have the platforms to make that happen. To the media industry and as a country, I ask that we all commit to helping in our fights against drug addiction by talking about it even more. Especially as we battle the COVID pandemic, we need to remember that suicides are on the rise as people who are struggling with loneliness and addiction feel they have nowhere to turn.
I'm going to turn you around and say goodbye. Say good evening.
Teachers,
This is probably the end of the...
Pay attention to signs of addiction. Lawmakers.
So thank you for joining me. I'll be live drawing this again tomorrow night, probably around the same time, and covering the RNC with drawings. I'll post these on they're on Twitter, but I'll also post them on Instagram. So anyway, thanks for coming. See you later. Bye.